Well, here we are, part two of something I'm calling presidential hotties. So here we are once again, Woodrow Wilson, 1913 to 1921, he was president. You know, this was the guy that sold us out. First he was fighting the bankers, and then they went to Jekyll Island in 1913, created the Federal Reserve, because basically the country was pretty much bankrupt even way back then. So this is the guy, this is once again the good presidents are on this wall over here, and then ironically they switch over and they start off with a really bad president. Not so bad, you know, but anyway, so here's Ellen Wilson. Of course, they never have, oh yeah, I guess Woodrow Wilson and Ellen Wilson. Oh my gosh, another man whore though, he married another Helen. It's funny, oh, Ellen over here. And just a reminder over here, we've got William Taft married Helen Taft and another Helen Taft. Amazing. And so then we got another Helen over here, Helen Bones. Look at that, I can't believe it. Helen Bones, can you believe it? Anyway, and then another one, Edith Wilson, Margaret Wilson. What the hell is this guy? He's like Woodrow Wilson, top presidential man whore right here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 wives. Wow, that guy must have been crazy or something. Anyway, Warren Harding here, he just had one simple, older kind of woman kind of wife. And of course, Calvin Coolidge, we all heard about him. And his Grace Coolidge kind of wife here, she's not so bad. And then, of course, we got a gap. We come down here to Herbert Hoover. You guys all heard Herbert Hoover. Oh my gosh. Now, this is the first modern-looking president, Lou Hoover. Eloise, Louis, something, Louise perhaps. But look, she's got that certain kind of modern look. All the other presidential wives, they had kind of an old-fashioned look. And then Franklin D. Roosevelt, I can't forget the D, and Eleanor Roosevelt. Remember, she did all that stuff with education and stuff. Harry S. Truman, now he was a good guy, but he got co-opted by the alien conspiracy, so, you know, can't argue with that one. But, yeah, so Elizabeth Truman, interesting. Harry S. Truman and Elizabeth Truman, very fascinating. And then, of course, we got Dwight Eisenhower. He was that general from the war that they threw him in because they thought he'd make a good president. And didn't work out so good for the military-industrial complex it did, but for everybody else. And then we got Mamie Eisenhower, and his husband Dwight. Once again, kind of a Hollywood, kind of newer kind of look, as opposed to all those old people. Now look at this. Right after Dwight, oh my gosh, we have a huge gap, like I call it the missing years of the Illuminati. Huge gap here. Who knows what the hell happened in that period of time? And then, of course, we got our friend John F. Kennedy. Don't cross the CIA, whatever you're doing. And of course, Jacqueline Kennedy. She got that modern look, probably the hottest hottie of the presidential wives clubs. But look at it, not bad. And then, of course, Lyndon B. Johnson, who took over from this guy when they got rid of him. He would play the game a little better, so they stuck with him. And then Lady Bird Johnson. Of course, you don't want to be a bird in this day and age. They're just falling out of the sky right and left. Oh my gosh. And then here's my good old buddy, old pal, Richard Nixon. Gotta love this guy. And of course, Patricia Nixon. All those Patricias out there. Once again, a modern look. Compare Patricia's modern kind of look to Carolyn Fillmore. I mean, Jesus Christ. There's almost no comparison. Where do they find these old presidential hotties? These new ones are much hotter. So anyway, once again, after the Nixon years, of course, there's another huge gap in American history. Just don't know where it went. It's just a big abyss out here in the wall. Until we get to Gerald Ford, of course. And I want you to notice something. That ever since like Nixon and Kennedy, and it apparently turned out not to be a good thing to have multiple wives, because all the modern presidents only have one wife. Aren't they special? But anyway, so Gerald Ford, and of course Elizabeth Ford. Watch out for, you know, what happened to her. James Earl Carter. Oh yeah, look at him. And of course, Rosalind Carter. Now Rosalind's, she's got that modern look again. Can't live with that. Ronald Reagan. Once again, notice only one wife per president for the last like 50 years. Ronald Reagan, he stood up for a good thing. Nancy Reagan, of course, you know, say no to drugs, say more to drugs. And then, of course, my favorite, George H.W. Bush, Bush Sr., couldn't even run an oil company, Zapata Oil. Look into Zapata Oil. Watch out for that one, man. He ran that company into the ground. How can you lose money like in an oil company? Crazy. And of course, Barbara Bush, she's seen better days, but look, they got a nice picture of George here. Oh, and then another one of my favorite, William Jefferson Clinton, Mena, Arkansas, don't get me started on Mena. But wow, yeah, look he's got really nice teeth. Look at him. Really nice teeth. Yeah, and then of course his wife and our current Secretary of State, I guess, Hillary Rodham Clinton. And look into her law offices in Arkansas there. And then notice once again they got Bill Clinton, and then another huge gap in human history just like falls out here. And then of course we get George Walker Bush. Boy, he was an upstanding member of his Air National Guard. And of course, Laura Welsh Bush. Wow, I never knew her middle name. Welsh. Welsh grape juice, Welsh something. Got that modern look though. Just once again, compare Laura Bush to Abigail Adams. It's like night and day. Hundreds of years separate them, but they're like totally different people. Thank God for Laura Bush and all she's done for the children and everything. But wow. And then of course we get to our current president, Barack Obama. Well, I don't have anything good or bad to say about him. He's a heck of a lot better than what happened down here. But once again, he's got his own priorities and CFR connections and George Soros. Watch out for that. And then of course our next president, Michelle Obama. What do you know? And that concludes my 2 episodes of the presidential hotties. Once again, look, she's got that modern look again, kind of like Laura had. Wow. So that concludes our tour of the presidential hotties hallway. Wow.